Deputy governors raise alarm over persistent insecurity, poor investment, and inadequate support for cross-border development initiatives. Security operatives disrupt People's Democratic Party's caucus meeting in Abuja. On the foreign scene, firefighters battle wildfires in Turkey, France amid early heat wave. Good evening, this is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. My name is Emir'S. Residents of Lafiagi in Edu local government area of Kwara State took to the streets on Monday in protest against what they described as worsening insecurity in their communities, including repeated cases of terrorism, kidnapping, and killings. The protesters, predominantly youths from the area, voiced frustration over what they termed government inaction in the face of continued violence. They were seen in a video clip chanting solidarity songs and waving placards, demanding urgent intervention to curb the bloodshed and abductions disrupting daily life. The irate youths set fire to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency Ndlea office in Lafiagi and vandalized the palace of the Emir of Lafiagi, smashing windows and damaging parts of the building. Lafiagi and neighboring communities have experienced several abductions in recent weeks, with multiple residents still being held captive. Families of the victims have reportedly paid substantial ransoms to secure the release of their loved ones. In the meantime, deputy governors from border states on Monday raised alarm over persistent insecurity, poor investment, and inadequate support for cross-border development initiatives. They spoke at the 2025 African Border Day celebration in Abuja with a theme, Building Border Community, Resilience and Economic Development through Cross-Border Cooperation. Deputy Governor of Kwara State and Chairman of the Niger International Border Platform, Idris Gubir, spoke about insecurity and the failure to adequately secure Nigeria's borders, particularly in the north. He criticized the country's inability to prevent arms and militants from entering through its borders. Gubir proposed the use of surveillance technology to monitor borders. The Deputy Governor of Kwara State and Chairman of the Nigeria's Coastal Border Platform, Lawrence Ewadurijapo, expressed frustration over the lack of tangible outcomes from existing border development platforms and called for greater involvement. He called for the establishment of a Marine Safety Corps to assist with intelligence gathering and patrols along the coastline. Nigerian Army troops on Sector 2 of Operation Kai have stopped a planned bomb attack by suspected Islamic State West Africa province ISWAP fighters along a major highway in Borno State. The soldiers killed 2 of the suspected terrorists during an ambush operation along the Trans-Timbuktu corridor near the Katako-Goniri area. According to reports, the troops acted on reliable intelligence that ISWAP members were moving to plant improvised explosive devices along the route. Items recovered from the scene include 2 AK-47 rifles, several magazines, and a motorcycle and materials used for making explosives. The soldiers also found tools used to dig into tarred roads where IEDs are usually hidden. Away from security, the newly signed tax reform has been lauded as a welcome development, while the state and local governments have been urged to be inspired to do better. This comes as questions trailed the assent of bills, with many confused as regards the details and purpose of the tax laws. President Bola Tinubu signed the bills on Thursday, describing them as necessary to Nigeria's economic growth. In this report, Lydia Adewaju looks at an expert's perspective.
On Thursday, the 26th of June, President Bola Tinubu signed all the 4 tax reform bills into law. The bills include the Nigerian Tax Bill, also known as the Ease of Doing Business, the Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Bill, which repeals the current Federal Inland Revenue Service Act, as well as the Nigerian Tax Administration Bill, which seeks to unify the legal and operational framework for tax administration across federal, state, and local governments. The 4th bill is the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill, which provides for a formal governance structure to facilitate cooperation between revenue authorities at all levels of government. Although the chairman, Presidential Committee on Tax Reforms, Professor Taiwo Oyedele, in an interview said households earning 250,000 naira or less per month will be exempted from paying the tax. Many are still confused about the purpose of the reform and how it would impact the populace.
These reforms are not about raising more taxes. I think people get it wrong. A lot of people, including analysts and commentators, will say, oh, where are they going to get the more taxes from? Nigerians are poor. This is exactly trying to relieve people of the burden of taxes. These tax laws, they are now laws, are pro-poor in particular. More than 1/3 of workers in both the private and public sector will now be exempted completely from PAYE. They will not have to pay personal income tax. Small businesses, over 90% of small and micro nano businesses will no longer have to worry about paying corporate income tax or charging VAT or even deducting withholding tax or paying PAYE for their employees. What this means is that there will be more money in the hands of the ordinary Nigerian to take care of their daily needs.
Reacting to this, Dr. Olayinka Andrews, an economy expert, described the reform as a welcome development and a foundation to further reforms. In his words, about 90% of the Nigerian populace work with the public sector, while a meager 7% are under private. This, he noted, means more people are consuming, while less are creating revenues. Dr. Andrews said the new tax reform would remedy this.
Mark my word, it's the private sector that creates wealth. It now depends on the quantum of people that are on the dragnet of public sector or private. In Nigeria, about 90-something% of our work aspect, people who can work, people who are able to work, are in the public service. I'm talking about people who are able to do their work and young, whereas only maybe 8-7% are in the private sector, which is wrong. When that happens, you now realize that more people will be consuming than people that are creating. It's like we are 10 in a room, and 8 of us are producing. Only 2 are consuming. We will be well off. We can even transfer outside. But if you reverse it, if 8 of us are consuming and only 2 are producing or creating wealth, that's why we are killing ourselves in Nigeria. So this tax act is now trying to reverse it, to encourage more people to be in the private sector so you can generate wealth. That's why I said then it's also poor people friendly. Like I said, if you are afraid of paying tax, I will not allow you to go and start a business. You are now free. Once you do generate up to 50 million, and where will a small man generate up to? Tax couple will not be taken from your effort to create wealth. For me, this is the best thing to happen.
When it comes to the agency taxing people wrongly, Dr. Andrews pointed out the provision for an ombudsman where complaints will be handled.
That aspect of this new tax is called ombudsmanship. That will have been at the end, but let me quickly mention it here. If you are taxed wrongly, or you are not expected to be taxed, you are taxed, you report. It's like public information agency. That is, if you are wrongly taxed, you can go and report. This new act has created that agency. I think it will have presence in all states. So you have to find out where that of Osun State will be.
President Tinubu at the signing ceremony last week described the laws as pivotal to the country's prosperity, saying the occasion presented a new lease of life to every Nigerian and future generation. Also, Chairman of the Nigeria Revenue Service, Zak Adedeji, said the implementation of the 4 tax reform laws will commence by January 1st, 2026, adding that this would avail stakeholders ample time to make necessary provision for the implementation. In the meantime, other levels of government have been urged to take a cue from the reform, especially as the economy expert urged that power supply in Nigeria be improved to further encourage entrepreneurship.
Let us have power. Because all these people riding Okada, it's not that they want to go into entrepreneurship, as I said, hands-on. They want to do job on their own, but there's no light, there's no power. So they are forced to. So I am appealing to government to do, and I think government has taken a step at the federal level. But Osun State, what are we doing? We need to be talking. This is where it touches us most. We should leave the national grid and join so that we can have our own power and encourage individuals to do their job.
Though all seems well with the reform, Nigerians await the implementation come 2026 with hopes that the highlighted benefits would not just be good on paper, but actually impact the nation's economy positively. Lydia Adegbaju, Western Spring Television News.
In other news, the Federal High Court in Abuja on Monday granted a suspended senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, bail on self-recognizance. Akpoti-Uduaghan was arraigned on a 6-count charge bordering on alleged cybercrime. After the charges were read to her, she pleaded not guilty to all. The senator allegedly made false and damaging statements against Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Kogi State's former governor, Yahaya Bello. The court adjourned until September 22, the commencement of trial. Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have arrested 74 suspected internet fraudsters in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The suspects were apprehended on Monday at a hotel in Yaya, a suburb of the capital city, following credible intelligence linking them to internet-related crimes. According to a statement by the EFCC spokesperson, Ndlea, items recovered during the operation include 86 mobile phones, a rifle pistol, and 3 motorcycles. Oyewale added that the suspects will be arraigned in court upon the conclusion of ongoing investigations. To politics, the caucus meeting of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, descended into chaos on Monday as security operatives forcefully ejected some members from the National Executive Committee Hall. The meeting was scheduled to hold at the NEC Hall of the party's headquarters in Abuja, with members already arriving at the venue. According to reports, 2 members were forcibly removed by security operatives after some protocol officers claimed they had no business being at a meeting. In the course of dragging them out, the glass door was shattered. Meanwhile, the PDP has moved the venue of its BOT meeting from the Wadata Plaza, the party's national secretariat in Abuja, to the Eradua Center in the Central Business District of the Federal Capital Territory. The party faulted the takeover of its secretariat by armed policemen from the FCT Police Command. The PDP described as harassment the actions of the policemen who barred BOT members from accessing the secretariat for their meeting. In the meantime, the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, has fixed July 24, 2025 for its National Executive Council meeting to nominate a new substantive national chairman for the party. After an emergency meeting at the party's National Secretariat on Monday, the National Working Committee, led by the Deputy National Secretary, Festus Fonta, said the meeting would afford the party the opportunity to nominate a new chairman for the party. He added that a notice for the NEC meeting has been forwarded to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, while Ali Bukar Dalori assumed duty as the party's acting national chairman on Monday. Dalori, who was the Deputy National Chairman North of the APC, emerged as the party's acting chairman following the resignation of Abdullahi Ganduje as the national chairman of the party. He assured party members of his dedication to carry out his new role with transparency, inclusiveness, and a unity of purpose. The acting chairman said he was prepared to work with members as partners in the collective task of safeguarding the party's unity, discipline, and direction. Presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, has confirmed he will contest the 2027 presidential election. Obi added that he was willing to serve a single 4-year term if elected. He made the declaration on Sunday night while speaking during a live session on X Spaces, where he answered questions from supporters both in Nigeria and abroad. In a statement released on Monday by his spokesman, Ibrahim Umar of the Peter Obi Media Reach,
and others crossed the busy Agunbelewo, Okini, Ilobu, Ifon Road intersection known as Ostim Junction to slow down vehicles during rush hours. The young man in his late 30s resumes across the dangerous highway on weekdays by 6:30 a.m. and leaves